Bruchim habayim, boker tov, morai v'rabotai. We are continuing on Hilchot Shabbat, Siman Resh Samech Gimel, the halachot of hadlakat nerot Shabbat, and we are up to Seif Yud Gimal on Daf Lamed Zayin Amud Bet of the regular prints of your Mishna Beruras. Maran writes, Adam shma le'ir be'erev Shabbat uchbar kiblu anshe ha'ir alehem Shabbat. If you are coming into a town on Friday afternoon and they have already accepted early Shabbat, all of the town, even though that it is just after Plag HaMincha, you already have over an hour before sundown, says the Shulchan Aruch, Im hayu alav ma'ot o shum hefetz manichol lipol. You have to accept Shabbat. You must accept Shabbat al korchach, against your will, because in this town everyone has accepted Shabbat, and hence you are nigrar acharehem, you are drawn halachically after them, and therefore if you have something muktzeh, you drop it. Says the Mishna Berura, sheolech leheder umanichol lipol sham, you go to a room, you drop them there to hide them. We're going to have this upcoming Simanim, and we're going to discuss it a little bit more over there in Biur Alacha as well. Says Shulchan Aruch in Siman if you dalit in biyoma meunan taus tzibor chashush chashcha v'idliku nerot v'itpalelu. This is actually an offshoot of a Gemara. It says this case actually happened. Imagine to yourself a town without clocks, without watches. You would go after the the light level in the sky. So if you have a clear day, amazing. You could see the sun go down, and we spoke about this when the sun is on top of the trees. We spoke about this when we spoke about Hadlakat Nerot in the beginning. But says the Shulchan Aruch, what if it was an overcast, cloudy day, all dark, and you have this black clouds that came, and you thought it's night. Became completely dark, and you're like, oh, okay. You lit candles of Shabbat, you went and you davened lechadodi and arvit, and you came out of the shul after arvit, Shabbat shalom, and the clouds go away, sun is shining in its tukvo gvurato. Says the Shulchan Aruch, you did tefillat arvit shel Shabbat v'achar kach nitpas ro'avim v'zarcha achama. You have the sun out in the sky. You don't have to go back and daven arvit again, provided that this was after Plag HaMincha. So again, based on what we have explained already many times, this falls right into place, that after Plag HaMincha you could accept night, you could daven arvit, right? Shtav Rabbi Yehuda, we've spoken about this many times. But if it's only one person, that in his house he looked and he thought this darkness is from nightfall, and he davened arvit early on and lit the candles and davened arvit, sarichu lachazoru litpalel tefilat arvit. Then he needs to go back and daven arvit one more time because of his mistake. Now, right, so if a person made a mistake, or he did not go back to daven again, then he does not need to go back and daven shacharit twice, because this is b'di'evid, and he davened after Plag HaMincha, and that's fine, right? There's no problem necessarily with that. But says the Shulchan Aruch, ul inyan asiyat melacha. What would be the halacha for him now doing melacha? You see the sun in the sky. You accepted Shabbat b'ta'ut, right? You know that it's still day. Says the Shulchan Aruch, ben betzibur, ben beyahid mutarim. Even the tzibur that accepted Shabbat b'ta'ut, they could still do melacha, even though that they don't have to go back and daven arvit again. So you'll have this very big anomaly in halacha, that you have a scenario in which they have accepted Shabbat, they have davened arvit, and they don't have to daven arvit again, but they still could do melacha, because the Kabbalat Shabbat was by the daven arvit. doesn't make a difference. It was beta'ut, so it's not, you could basically hold the rope from both of its ends over here. They don't have to daven arvit again, but yet it's not considered a halachic Kabbalat Shabbat for you either. So says the Shulchan Aruch, the Kabbalat Shabbat hayta beta'ut. So it's a mistaken Kabbalat Shabbat. Yesh omrim she'otam shidliku nerot, and there are those who say it depends. Those people who accepted Shabbat by lighting candles, asurim masiyat melacha, those people cannot do melacha because they already lit the candles, and you accept Shabbat with that. That's an official action to accept the Shabbat, versus the other ones that they didn't. Ush'aran Shabbat mutarin, and the rest of the people in the household would be mutar. Now, even if the people who lit the candles did not daven arvit yet, it's just the adlakat nerot, it would be af im lo yitpalelu, aval belo adlaka af shitpalu tfilat Shabbat, kevan shebeta'ut haya lo shema Kabbalah. It's not considered Kabbalah. Now, the reason for the Yesh Omrim that are Machmir is that Kabbalah Shabbat is with Hadlakat Nerot, and it's considered an action. It's more important than davening Arvit. And because you have a Maaseh, it's not just Dibur of saying Arvit, but it's Maaseh of lighting Nerot, and therefore it is more important, more effective in order to accept Shabbat. Fine. Says the Shulchan Aruch, Seif Tetvav, if you have not davened mincha yet until your tzibur already accepted Shabbat, they said boy kala Shabbat maketa, and then you want to start davening mincha, right? Says the Shulchan Aruch, lo yitpalel mincha be'ota bet knesset. Can no longer daven mincha in that place is Shabbat now. You can no longer daven mincha. This happens every week almost for people who are latecomers, right? So the tzibur already has finished mincha. They come late, and they want to quickly catch a mincha and then join. So they could do that. It's fine, provided that they are still in the early stages of Kabbalah Shabbat, L'chun Hashem. Right? They haven't gotten to the end of Lechadodi saying Boi Kala, or Mitzvot Shalom Shabbat for sure, right? But if they already have gotten there, you should not be standing in the back of the shul davening. Go to a different room. Go to the rabbi's office and daven, and then come back, right? Can't be in the same room that they accepted Shabbat in that Beit Knesset. Ela yelech chutz leoto Beit Knesset, go outside, daven the tefillah of mincha, and then come back in. But that's only if you didn't make the mistake of saying Baruch Hu et Hashem HaMevorach or Boi Kala Shabbat Marketa with them. Right? If you come in the shul and they are doing Boi B'Shalom Ateret Kala Ateret Ba'ala, and they are saying Boi Kala, and you join the beautiful Nigun and say, let me finish the Chadodi with them and then I'll daven Mincha. Mistake. If you accept Shabbat, you can't even go out in the rabbi's office and daven anymore because you accepted Shabbat now, right? That will be an oxymoron to accept Shabbat, which is accepting the nightfall, and then go daven Tefilat Chol of Erev Shabbat.
So, but Shabbat comes no matter what a person does.
Now we're talking about the case that it's not after sunset.
Okay.
I want a case that you plug a mincha, you still have an hour, but you're doing early mincha, right? Aval im ana vekiber Shabbat. If you said Baruch Hu et Hashem HaMevorach, you accepted Shabbat already. Boi kala Shabbat Malketa, Mitzvot Shalom Shabbat, all of that. Eno yachol litpalel tefilat chol. Then you've called it the night already. You've called it the Shabbat. You accepted upon yourself Shabbat. You no longer could daven mincha. Ela yitpalel arvit shtayim. You have to daven arvit twice.
Just whenever our wife, let's just say some people, their wife flies and they walk to show, they purposely don't drive, and they accept, in their mind, when the wife flies, they accept Shabbat. You shouldn't do that. The men shouldn't do that, because when you come to show, then mincha is an issue.
100% you should not do that if you haven't davened mincha. Well, you could do that if you davened early mincha.
Wow. I think this is...
Yeah, otherwise, come home, you gotta come to shul, drive, daven with mincha, and right away afterwards, accept Shabbat, right? Tosefet Shabbat, it's a beautiful thing to do. One more Seif. אם בא לבית כנסת סמוך לקבלת ציבור שבת, if you came to the בית כנסת סמוך לקבלת הציבור שבת, right next to it, מתחיל להתפלל מנחה, ואף על פי שבעודו מתפלל יכבדו הציבור שבת. They're starting lechadodi, in 2 minutes they're going to be saying, boi kala, Shabbat Malketa. You want to start mincha? You have to go to the rabbi's office? No, you could say, you can start. As long as you start your tefillah before they accept Shabbat, you could start it, even though that in the middle of your Shemona Esrei they're going to be accepting Shabbat. That's fine. Your plane already has left. And you're good to go. En bekach klum, there's no problem with that. Ho'il v'yitchil, once he has already started beheter, he already started his tefillah properly. And again, this is a larger than life sugya of whether or not you go after the beginning of the tefillah. Like, you want to start mincha a minute before shkia. Can you start a minute before shkia? Even though that your tefillah is going to go after, or imagine that you paskin, that with the eved you have time for 13 and a half minutes shouts maniot after shkia to do mincha. Let's imagine, let's imagine you paskin lahakel that you have. So can I do 12 minutes after shkia, I want to start mincha, even though the majority of my tefillah is going to be after the time of mincha. Can I do that? Do you mamash go after just the beginning, or do you go after rove of your tefillah, or the whole tefillah? It's machlokit. It's machlokit. And you see, from this Maran is one of the places, the Rav Panter Moli in Petach HaDevir, Turkish Rav, he explains it over here in our Seif over here, that you go after the beginning. Chaobadia has multiple pieces that he has written in Yechavedat, in Yabia Omer, Chazal Obadia, about this very topic, and he also sides with the fact that the Ikar Adin is that you go after the very beginning of the tefillah, that you start, and you're good to go afterwards. So that is, that's the halacha, right? Again, this is Obadia in Chazal Obadia in Shabbat Chelek Aleph, he passes like this. In Yabia Omer, in Chelek Zayin, at least, it's probably more places, he passes like that. These are, broad discussions in halakha, but the maaseh, we're asking that you could do this, and there's no problem. B'ezrat Hashem, we will continue the next upcoming seifim in days to come. Hazak u'baruch.